How have things changed this year? I would imagine that it is very different, but for you, what is the biggest difference?
Things have really slowed down. I think that's just being in the same system for a year now, having that relationship with Coach Dable that I do have, knowing the verbiage, knowing the offense inside and out, kind of having some more freedom with, checks and calls at the lines and things like that. And obviously just kind of being more in control, in command of the huddle. If guys have questions, I can answer it and be sure about what I'm giving their answers to. So I think that's the biggest difference, to be honest.
How difficult is that transition from being a rookie at the draft with the pro days, the Senior Bowl, all the different things that you go through, and then getting thrown into an NFL season?
No, it's really tough. It's a whirlwind because I had bowl game, then I did Senior Bowl, and then I did combine, and then I did visits and pro day, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And as a young kid, I was 21 years old at the time. A lot of stuff thrown at you. You really don't get a chance to kind of digest everything that you hear or see. So you get thrown into camp, and it's just like straight rush. So there's things during the season last year that I still didn't have really 100% confidence in, and wasn't sure about everything that I was saying in the huddle. I wasn't sure about the checks and the protection calls that I was making. But that's over and done with. I took some beatings and my lumpings, and through kind of trial and error, I figured things out as the season went along and got really comfortable. And having this offseason that we've had, it's been really awesome.
So you go through last season, you have the injury in the middle of the season, you come back, things seem to go pretty well, at least for you personally. In the offseason, what was the focus? Was it a mental focus? Was it a physical focus? A combination of both? What were you trying to work on when you were away from Buffalo?
It was a little combination of both. I worked with Jordan a little bit, got to throw, but at the same time, having interaction with some of the guys that we were getting, talking about how the season was going to go, and then just kind of diving into the playbook. I wanted to really understand what we were calling, why we were calling it. Coach Dable's done a really good job with letting me know about things, and Coach Dorsey also having him in the room and his quarterback insight, his experience playing on the field. It's really kind of carrying over to the quarterbacks in the room. It's been fantastic. Super glad to have him, and I'm super excited about the season.
So we get out here to practice, and admittedly, I'm one of them. You've got people sitting there writing down every throw that you make. How do you feel like the offense has kind of meshed together in these first couple weeks of training camp?
I think it's been good. I don't think it's where it needs to be or where we want it to be. We do have some time before that happens. Obviously, we've got 4 preseason games before the season starts, and we've got some things ironed out. But I think for the starting point that we have right now, with what we're doing with the guys that we have in, the communication aspect has been fantastic. Getting to know guys and their body language when they're running routes and the timing and things like that, that's been really, really good. So we're going to continue to grow on that, shoring some things up with communication on the line, making sure that I got the right calls and I got the right checks and just seeing different things. And obviously, with more experience and more time, things will get better.
With the additions of guys like Cole Beasley, John Brown, right when the pads went on, you and John connected a couple times really deep. People got excited. Cole Beasley, it seems like you look to him all the time. How do you get on the same page with guys like that? And is it just a muscle memory thing? The more reps you get with them, the better you guys get on the same page?
That's exactly it. The more reps, the more I get to see his body language, the more we talk about certain things. If he's got a Mike linebacker, things that he wants to do, it's kind of subtle as a little eye contact or a little nod or little things like that. So just like I said, more reps against starting defenses. Our defense is fantastic. So we get the honor to go against them every single day, and in turn that's going to make us better. So it's a good relationship that we have on both sides right now. It's a good competition.
We were actually talking about it while we were watching practice today. You seem like you're a guy who kind of thrives when the play breaks down and you have to create something. We don't get to see that stuff happen out here, but last year there were some people who said that you were running too much. Is there such a thing as running too much?
We didn't have many quarterback runs called last year. There was a few, but when I ran, it's because something broke down or I didn't feel comfortable with the route or I saw an opening in the defense. And I took what, they gave us, and sometimes the defenses kind of didn't really give me respect in the run game, so now they got to respect it. But in turn, if they're going to respect my run game, that's going to open up something in the passing game. So there's it coincides with each other, but maybe last year there was a few times I did get out of pocket earlier and I wasn't trusting the guys around me as much, but being in the system for a year and being around the guys that we have now and kind of really feeling that trust and that relationship with these guys, I'm going to sit in there and try to find our guys and let them get open and go to work. And when the play breaks down, if nothing's there, I'm going to try to escape and make a play out of it.
So we have the first preseason game coming up. Last year it would have been your first real game at New Era Field. What is your goal this year with the preseason for you personally?
Just to find, that in sync feeling with the guys, that we have out there. Obviously, preseason, I'm not sure how much or how little I'm going to play, but when I'm in, I'm going to treat it like it's a real game. I'm going to make the right checks, the right calls, and try to throw it to the right guy when he's open, and just kind of go from there. And it's great practicing against our defense, but it's different when you got different faces out there in a real defense, and bullets are flying. You can get hit, and you get to see how guys kind of move with real guys and real targets flying.
You've said that this year is about growth for everybody on the offense, as a team, as a general. How do you manage expectations as a competitor?
We want to go out there. We want to win every game we play. That's no secret. I think everybody else in the league feels the exact same way. At the same time, we want to be the best version of ourselves every day. So it's coming out to practice and doing the little things right. Coach Dable explains to us now, we don't need to be extraordinary at a couple things, but the ordinary things we need to be great at. So that's what we're kind of focusing on. Being right on our depths, me setting the protection the right way, me putting the ball where our receivers can run and catch, and Coach McDermott's key thing for us is 1/11th, everybody doing their job. So as time goes on, we're going to get a better feel for that, and again, this preseason kind of helps with that.
You've been asked this question before, and you've given the answers on it, but every day we're out here at practice. When there's kids out here, there's fans out here, you're going and you're signing the autographs, and it seems like you've already become, the fan favorite. Everybody loves you in Western New York. Why is that so important to you?
I just kind of think of it as I'm a real person. I think we all are. As football players, we're not very different than everybody else. I remember being a kid, looking up to athletes, and I try to sign or at least interact with every kid out here and wave, high five, fist bump, whatever it is, just because I remember being in that situation. I remember being a young kid and wanting to be appreciated for showing my support of how much I cared about the sport that I was watching, or the fan, or the player that I was a big fan of. So I remember being a kid, and if little thing like that happened to me, I was just juiced about it. Like, he looked at me, he waved at me, so that's where I come from.
How far can you throw a football?
On a good day, maybe a little over 80.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you need the wind?
No, not really. In Wyoming, I had some, obviously, altitude help there. But in the indoor, I threw it like 83 one time. That's at altitude, so that might add a few yards.
Okay. I was curious about that. How far do you think you could throw a football?
Like 17 yards.
No, you can do that. We were talking about it today. I think I could do 35 or 40. I think that's my max, though. You can throw 80.
Yeah.
That's absurd. And then final question. That's so ridiculous. Final question for you. Finish this sentence. 2019 will be a successful season for the Buffalo Bills if
we stick to our rules, play 1/11 football, and we coincide with each other. Our offense plays well, our defense does their job. It really comes down to that. We want to play football the right way, how it's supposed to be played. Coach goes over situations every day in practice and every day in meetings, and we're trying to figure those out and just play complementary football off each other.
Cool. Thanks so much,
yeah,
Josh.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
you
taking the time.